I'm Julia King with E2024, and we're here in Georgia, a key battleground state for the upcoming presidential election. We're asking Georgia voters about the current political climate and what this state could mean for the outcome of the election. Let's hear what they have to say. Georgia was not always considered a battleground state. Over the past few decades, Georgia has been reliably Republican, always voting red in presidential elections. However, in 2020, Georgia was key to President Joe Biden's razor-thin victory over Donald Trump, turning the state blue for the first time in decades. In 2024, many may say the state is now purple.
Well, Georgia could be decisive potentially with 16 electoral college votes. And what has moved Georgia more in the direction of the Democratic Party, part of it took place just last Saturday here in Atlanta, where Donald Trump came down and before a large gathering over Georgia State, he attacked not only our governor, but our governor's wife.
Kemp is very bad for the Republican Party. But think of the wife. And now she said 2 weeks ago that I will not endorse him because he hasn't earned my endorsement. I haven't earned her endorsement. I have nothing to do with her. Somewhere he went bad.
Our governor is far more popular in this state than is Donald Trump. Instead of attacking Brian Kemp, what Donald Trump ought to be doing is trying to grab onto his coattail. And so what potentially happens is by trashing Brian Kemp, Brian and his followers aren't going to vote for Kamala Harris, but they may skip over that presidential name. And indeed, what Kemp's wife has said she'll do is she'll write in Brian Kemp's name for president.
During our trip, E2024 visited Athens, a distinctly liberal area in between a sea of red counties. There we spoke to staff from the Red and Black, an independent newsroom that serves the University of Georgia, Athens, and the Athens community. These reporters highlighted the economic issues that Georgians face every day. What have you noticed in your reporting or maybe even your own experience are the top issues that Athens voters are caring about?
And I think one of the biggest things that we've noticed as students on campus is that everyone is talking about politics more, especially when it's something that directly impacts them.
Well, I think especially since the pandemic, we've seen everywhere across the country that housing prices are increasing and cost of living is increasing. But specifically in Athens, we have one of the highest rates of homelessness, or people like the highest rates of unhoused individuals in the state of Georgia. And so that's definitely a big thing that when you're coming to go to school here, depending on your background, might be something that is new for students.
I do want to add the fact that we're students as well and experiencing this. There's not a lot of rent control in Athens, and I've experienced it myself where I've been living in one apartment and then the next year I renew my lease and the rent has increased. So I think because a lot of the issues that impact Athenians impact us as well, it really helps us inform our reporting.
We also spoke with Ashwin Ramaswamy, a 25-year-old running for Georgia State Senate. He also shared the economic pressures that young voters in Georgia face.
House prices are just skyrocketing. The average house price in my district is nearly $500K and probably more at this point. And what's just really tough is it's tough for both people who want to buy houses, whether it's young people who want to settle here, they can't afford that much money, or whether it's even people like our teachers, police officers, firefighters, people who serve our community, they just can't afford to live here. Ultimately, I have an experience which no one else in the legislature really has, right? Like, as I said, I'll be 25 years old, right? And, I'm right now, I don't have my own house. I'm living with a family, and I'll proudly say that. And it's because young people can't afford to buy houses in the suburbs. And if that wasn't clear to the legislature already, it's very clear now when you have the public face of that is someone like me saying that this is not acceptable and this has to change.
With less than 100 days to the election, both campaigns are keeping a close eye on Georgia. As Republicans and Democrats fight to swing the state either more red or more blue, the country will anticipate Georgia's inevitable impact on this election.